Hey, Dave here, the inline plumber, with today's quote. Change is inevitable and not always controllable. What can be controlled is how you manage, react to, and work through the change process. Change is inevitable and not always controllable. What can be controlled is how you manage, react to, and work through the change process. This is from Kelly Morgan. Well, let's get right in. So change, yes, absolutely true, totally inevitable, and there is a lot of change that goes on, certainly in my life, that is controllable, and some that is completely out of my control. So how do I and you go through life with all these changes going on when the natural human state is to resist and not like change? Well, it comes back down to the working through the change process. So what is my choice? I can either do this, and I can do this, and I can speak to evil. I can go through all those different things about the change, either avoid it, don't believe it's happening, argue against it. I can have all these things, or I can accept the fact that change is actually inevitable, and I am just going to get on with it or struggle with it, but it's going to happen. And life is always a progression. That's why change is always happening. Something is going to change. There has been nothing in the past 100 years that has remotely stayed the same, and this is how life's going to go on. And what's been happening is throughout history there's always been change. What's happening is that as time has progressed and we have evolved as a human species, that the rate of change is going straight up like this. So it's how we go on with it. So I can choose to react poorly, which is typically reaction of like, oh, I didn't realize it was going to happen. Or it can be one of acceptance. Okay, this is going to happen to me. And then it's choosing to, at that point, how to respond. So there, I can look at the phone industry. This is something that has gone on. And it went way back in my childhood. I grew up in a house, and we had the telephone that stuck on a wall, and the new revolution at that point was I could grab the phone and I could pull it away on a cable that would reach like 30 feet or something, and I could walk around the house and hold on to it. Then it progressed into the phones that had a receiver on the wall, and then we started to go to the cell phones that were literally a phone, and then that moved up into being these things. And again, that phone size when it started, it was this big brick that was like this big, and we could walk around and required a battery pack and almost a generator to run it. Then it went to small phones, and we could go around, and then we could start going to all over the place with our phones as the phone network built up. Whereas when it first started, there was a core in the center of huge cities, and nowhere else had reception and all that kind of stuff. And now we can pretty much have our phone as a computer, and I can call someone, I can play games on it, I can do my banking, I can book holidays, I can do all these things. And this is a change that has happened, and it would have happened whether I cared about it or not. So the question is, how have I managed that change to the phone systems? How have I reacted to the changes in the phone systems? And how do I work through all the changes that have happened? Well, as it's younger, okay, this is great, new technology, all that's the great, the wonderful thing. Well, I can manage, and I can say, I'm going to keep with the same phone, and the reaction is, well, I don't care about the new phone, so I just keep the same phone, and it can still be working on my wall today. And that would be it. There'd be nothing wrong with that. Or it could be that, okay, do I want to rip that one off the wall and replace it with the next thing that comes on? There's a whole lot of change that goes on there, and how I manage it. Because I can say, I don't want anything to do, I am never going to buy a new phone. Or my reaction could be, as soon as the latest phone comes out with all the gadgets, I'm just going to buy it. Now, there wasn't very many gadgets going 30, 40 years ago, but nowadays it's a new feature as it got better resolution, faster speeds, I can contact everywhere. I can even call to space. Whatever it is, right? There's all this technology that goes on with it. So this is where we go, and it all comes back down to me. So with that, change is inevitable and not always controllable. What can be controlled is how we manage, react to, or work through the change process. From Kelly Morgan and myself, Dave the Enlightened Plumber, look at your own life, look at the different changes that have happened for you, not necessarily 30 years ago, but in the last 6 months, and look on yourself as to, well, have you reacted to them well? Have you accepted them? And are you ready for more changes? Because change is going to happen, and it's a good thing. Take care. See you on the next one.